I'm gonna go with this. This is good, but it doesn't do two things. This is Soldier Syringe, pretty sure. But if you're looking for just attack speed, like your commando, and you have bleed and sticky bombs or something, and you're trying to proc it more, is good. We put it here. We put the drugs in S tier, as most of LA would. This Tougher Times, okay. This is what people got mad at me for. This item here. A lot of people, I was under the impression at the time that Mithrix could use this if you take it. He cannot. Unless you like are playing modded and the blacklist is different. So good. No debate. I wish its benefit was higher for one, but I think it caps out at 10 because the percentage is 5. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do real quick. Hold on. Oh, it's 15. The item grants a 15% per stack. Blah 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 blah. Okay. This list doesn't have DLC items. It should. Yeah, right here. All these are void DLC items, so this has every item in the game, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, this right here. Alright. What was I saying? This thing. Good. Kind of. See, I don't like it, mainly because it's like, what do you want to call it? I don't feel like it's enough HP, and the inconvenience of having to go get it, but it's still HP. If you got no healing, you broke, you ain't got no harvester sight, no nothing. Usable. I say B tier. That's where I'm putting this. This. Crit. Yeah. Good. No real debate. Crit good. Need crit to live. This Mithrix can get. But it's not a bad speed item. Where is it? Here? Here it is. I don't know. Okay. So affected by 14%. So it's not bad, but just because Mithrix can get it, there's a better speed item, and that's this one. Because Mithrix, during that final like phase, he doesn't sprint. So if you take these, you don't have to sprint to get this effect. You do for this, so A tier, I guess. Mushroom. Okay. Funny thing about Mushroom, right? If you are on Engineer, here we are, right here. If we're on Engineer, this item, pretty good. I like this item. But if you're on other characters, and especially if you're in the higher Eclipse climbs, the only time you can really use this is when you've killed all the enemies and you have a brief moment of respite, or respite, however you say it. Or at the very beginning of the stage, you can't move for just a couple of seconds and just wait there. Bungus is also, yeah, Bungus is also good for Fields. Good point. I still think, nah, you know what, we'll bump it up one, because if you want to do early Fields, it's almost a necessity if you're a character that doesn't have a healing skill. Now this. Crowbar is good on the instant, like, damage characters, I want to call it. That's not, like, the best name for it, but it's what I think about all the time. So, like, if you're Loader, and your one-off abilities hit really hard, really like quick, and then it's over. Crowbar, good for those characters. So, and it's not reliant on chance or anything. I'm gonna put it up here. I think Crowbar is S tier. I love getting Crowbar. Good item. This Bleed Tri-Tip Dagger. Bleed is always good. I don't think there's a real debate about it. I think. Hold on. I'm gonna put it in S preemptively, but hold on. I think it's 5% per stack, or is it 10%? It's 10%. I think it gives 10% chance for bleed stack. Bleed is good, you know, blah, blah. Is affected by luck, of course. I think I'm going to keep it in S. I love bleed. There's never a time where I get bleed and I'm like, God damn, I hate this. It's good. So bleed is going to stay here. Bleed is A, you think? Different proc coefficients for bleed on like Rex. Okay. I think I'll put it in A. I'll bump it down one because different characters have different proc coefficient. So you're right. I'll put it in A here. Anyway, back to War Banner. This is actually one of my favorite items in the game, but it is not very good sometimes. The default radius is decent, but the inconvenience of having to level up has always bothered me. I've always wanted this to be an active item and have it just be larger. Because it's not... I'm going to have to put it in C tier, I think. This is going to be our first C tier item. I do like it, but cope. Slug! S tier. No debate. This. Shield thingy. Personal shield generator. Yeah. No. That thing is garbage. Shield generators are just... It's like the worst thing you could probably find. In my own opinion. I don't like shield generators very much. If they did something else besides just like start dividing your health into shields, I'd care more about it. Now PSG has B, what do you mean? Stop. Stop the cap. It's just terrible. Going down there in F, it's staying. Okay, medkit. Kind of funny item. It is... Let me take a look real quick on. 2 seconds, which is mid. It's a little slow, but okay. Additional 5%. Recovers 20 HP plus an additional 5% per stat. Okay. So, the thing about medkit is like, you don't want to take damage anyway. At least when you're playing Eclipse. Yeah, perfect. Go to non-Eclipse, mid on Eclipse. Yeah. I agree with that. This, I'm gonna have to put this in B, because like you do need healing, but it's kind of mid and situational. Okay, let's see. Gasoline. I don't think we need to... Do we need to go over why gasoline is S tier? I don't think we do. It is good. Burning on just killing enemies, there's no chance tied to it, is good. S tier. Flashbang. I hate this thing. Flashbang is kind of mid. Okay, this, funny fireworks, pretty good. I don't really have a complaint. They're really good for defense, and they activate on pretty much any, tap E moment. So I think here, fireworks are pretty ballin'. Interacting with something, with the exception of scrappers. Yeah, minus scrappers. The player launches 8 to 4 homing rockets, exploding. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they even have a proc coefficient, which I didn't know. Okay. We got this drink, the sip. The secondary energy drink. Goofy item. I love it. I think I'm gonna put it here. I like the sip. The sip is S. Backup Omega. Pretty good. Really good if you're Rex with Seedling Ring. Some enemy or some survivors, sorry, not enemies, that get this. It's really good for them. So I'm gonna put this in A. I think I like it. Sticky bomb. I wish it was better. I wish it did, when you stack it, it did more damage or did something more, like, interesting. It's pretty funny to see, like, 10 million sticky bombs when you have enough of them and a good proc coefficient on an enemy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really, do massive amounts of damage. But I still like it, though, so I'm gonna put it in B. I don't think it's ultimately useless, just kind of, Key. Since, if this was pre-nerf, I'd tell you that this is bad. Or not pre-nerf, pre-buff. I would tell you this is bad. This is pretty good. You can get free reds. It's a guaranteed item next stage that you don't have to pay for, so you don't have to grind. You can just run and get it. Goes well with fireworks. I think here. Key is funny. Okay, this. Double boss damage. I don't know the... Oh, hold on, give me a second. Okay, this right here, it's an additional 20% of damage to bosses, which is pretty good. So, oh, and the notes, this also is effective against the Lunar golems and stuff. Oh, probably during the Mithrix fight, yeah. It's pretty good. We'll put it in A. I think it's not a bad item to get. The only thing about it is it's so, like, basic that, there's no real, like, build making with it. It's just like, okay, bosses, this. The turtle is good. I like extra shield. I'm gonna put this here. I like it with, if you get a bunch of these with the doll, you can just give yourself a ton of shield. So, amazing. Focus crystal. This is also pretty good. I think I'm gonna put this also in A. If you're a melee class, it's amazing to get. But if you're anyone else that like shoots, not really. So it's gonna have to go in A. It's still really good, but it can't go in S because of the, it's Either one or the other, you know. B for Focus Crystal? Nah. Focus Crystal ballin'. It's also damage that can't be, like, taken away from you, too, like the watches. So I gotta have it up there. It's a good item. I like it. This. Repulsion Armor Plate. This is pretty good. I like this item. Very good if you find it on first stage. And then you're gonna find Stone Titan, I think it's called, on the first stage. You need this. This is good. It's gonna help you take less damage. I think here as well. I like this being an A. Wrap great for E8 since it allows you to do a blood without curse damage. Blood shrine without curse damage. Yo, I didn't even know that because I never hit the blood shrines on Eclipse, but ballin'. It stays A. It's a good item. ATG missile here. I like ATG. I think it's gonna go here. I wish the proc was a little higher sometimes, but ATG is ballin', so. Wisp. This thing, I think I'm gonna put this in A, I think. I kind of like it going in A. Maybe the explosion should do a bit more damage. I feel like it got nerfed in the Void DLC. I could be just lying, you know. I don't think it got nerfed, but it feels that way sometimes. I think I'm gonna put this in A. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this in A. Mainly because it's another thing like Gasoline, where it's an effect where you just kill the enemy, there's no chance, it just happens. It's good. So, Hopo Feather, Goofy Extra Jump, pretty good. Most characters, I say most because Merc can double jump, but most can't double jump. It's good. S tier. Yuki. Ukulele, my beloved. Funny, shocking. I wish the proc chance was a little bit better with this sometimes, but I really do enjoy it. It's good. It helps clear stuff out. It's good CC. I don't think there's a big debate about where it should go. I'm going to keep it in S, but just in case, let's take a look at the item description here. There's a 25% chance to create. Okay, I thought it was lower. I thought it was like 20 to 15. So it's higher than I thought it was. So I kind of like that. And it deals 80% of total damage with each proc. So if it procs in something, yeah, I like that. It's good. Leeching Seed. I don't really like this item. I wish it gave more than literally 1 health on single hits. It does go upwards for each one you get, but that implies that you're stacking this thing, like, at least to get 5 per hit, up to 5. So, mid. I think this is going to go F. Alright, this thing, Predatory Instincts. Bonus attack speed on crit it can be kind of unreliable. But I don't think it's a bad item. Really good for Mr. Commando. And if you have a couple of crit glasses, if you're really trying to boost your attack speed and you can't find drugs, it's a good alternative, but it is situational. I'm going to put it in B tier, I think. I think this is fair to have it here. I think this also, doesn't this also give you +5? Crit items give you +5 crit, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to double check. Yeah, grants an additional 5% critical strike chance. It can be okay. So I think B is a fair assessment. This Red Whip, even though this is like the wackiest model I've ever seen, this is Red Whip. If this was the first game, S tier item, you need to get these, but it's kind of mid in the second game, so I'm gonna put it here in B as well. It's a movement item at the end of the day, but anytime you leave combat, you're gonna lose it. Kind of blows. This is fine right here. I like this. I think that's pretty fair to put it like that. Okay, this right here, Stealth Kit. Yeah, moving on. Pretty bad. This, the Scythe. I think this will also go with Predatory here. Because they both do kind of the same thing. Fuel Cell. I love Fuel Cell. Especially, this is so good with DML missile synergy or any type of, like, equipment synergy. You almost gotta have this thing. It goes brilliantly with the crab shell down there. We put it in A, I think. It's not S tier because it doesn't do like anything else, but it's really good because it individual charges for your equipment charge at separate times, from what I understand. I could be capping, but I think it's A tier. I like this. It's good. Now this right here. So Infusion used to not like cap back in Risk of Rain 1, and it was super broken because of that. You could just infinitely extend your health, but now it caps at 100 right here. But I don't think it's terrible. I think this item is decent. Extending your health is always like a good idea to make yourself more tanky, to kind of keep yourself alive. But I wish it did something else. I think this is gonna go B. It's kind of situational. In Eclipse 8, it's kind of nice because you can just give yourself more health, even though it's capped, but still. Yeah, it doesn't do anything else, so B. Infusion overhated. Overhated? Well, I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. It's just, there's much better greens. Like, these are greens. I'd much rather pick this up and be like, oh, ballin', I'm gonna shoot a missile. I got an extra jump. I'm about to electrocute Home Alone moment all the enemies. I'm about to explode or get extra charges. It just only gives health. So it's just kind of, but I don't hate it. It's not like the worst thing, but you could get something better. This thing, Bandolier. Pretty good. I like ability cooldowns. It is relegated to chance, which is kind of mid. I think we got too many items in A tier already, but I think I'm going to put this also in B maybe, just because of the chance. I'm going to keep it here in B. Yeah, but if you are a cooldown character, it's nice to have. The only thing, other thing too, is like the bandolier thing that comes out of this, the box that you have to go pick up. It's the same thing as this, right? You got to go pick it up. You got to go out of your way and maybe possibly jump in enemies or fuck around, find out to get the thing. All right, this thing, what is this thing called again? Berserker's Pauldron, yeah. Kind of mid. The time frame that it gives you to actually get the bonus is way too small, I feel like. Unless you have something like Wisp, it is kind of hard to use. Killing enemies within 1 second. 1 second, by the way. I'm gonna put this thing in... I think this could be our first D tier item. I like attack speed, but it's just, that 1 second, man. Holy. This item. This I like, but it has some really good synergy with Multi and his drive mode. Oh, increases armor by 30%? Yeah, ballin'. I think this is a good item. I'm going to put this in A tier. I like it. Well, actually, no chance-related benefit, S. I really like Rose Buckler a lot. Let's see, bands. Yeah. I don't think we have to have a big discussion about bands. Actually, this one can sit S. I like that. This is the... I think that's appropriate. This is like S tier because the phase 4 skip. It kind of... I debate sometimes because like the enemies can move out of the fire tornado, but when the enemies actually do get stuck in the fire tornado, it does so much damage. So much damage. So S. And this sits here mainly because it doesn't have like a over time lasting effect, but it does. It's a good bump to damage and it freezes. So it gives a debuff. So if you're running like Death Mark, it helps you get Death Mark. Good item. It's A. But it doesn't do like phase 4 skip or anything like super special like that. So I think A is fair. I think both these are fantastic items. Bands are amazing. Now this is good. I like Chronobauble. It's if you're in like regular Monsoon, kind of a mid pickup. You don't really need to slow down the enemies. The enemies are already slow. But if you're in the Eclipse that is gives the like enemy speed and stuff, it's useful. It's useful. I think B. I think B is a fair assessment of that. Now this Quail. Quailless. I love Quail. But if you get too many, it starts to be a absolute fucking nuisance. So I think I'm gonna also put this in B. It's a really good item. But once you start stacking it, it kind of feels like not good. I disagree, but it's better than your ice band. Okay. I'm gonna keep this B. Guillotine. Guillotine, ballin'. I don't think there's a huge debate about it. I'm gonna keep it in S. I like it being an S. Let's see, this. This has funny synergies. It's pretty neat, but it's also kind of situational. And I'm gonna be real. In all of my hours playing Risk of Rain 2, I think I've really used this about maybe once or twice. So I'm gonna hold this down on a hard B once again. I think this is, well, you know what? No. See. In my experience, this item could be better. It's nice to have like more attack speed, and it, like I said, it has good equipment synergy. I mean, if you're balling with automatic activated synergy, you got Soulbound Catalyst, right? You got a couple bleed, and you're just trying to get your bleed. You can't locate drugs. You can't locate anything that's like coffee giving you attack speed or anything. Mid, it stays there. So this right here, Flower's pretty mid. Not gonna lie. I think there was a video I made. It was called like Flower Power, where I stacked these a bunch, and I really liked stacking it. It's kind of funny, and it has great synergy with this item right here, Nakano's. But the problem is it's only on teleporter events. It's only on those like activatable things. It's mid, and you're always like waiting for it to happen. So yeah, I agree with chat here. It's a pretty mid item. You're gonna scrap this almost all the time, and for the most part, you're never really gonna use it. So let's see this thing. This thing is really good if you have a hurt me synergy. If you take the Hellfire Tincture, you got the thing. What do you want to call it? The crab shell, and you've got some healing, like even leeching seed would be fine. Just some sort of healing that's gonna get you out of the burn, and you don't pick up an ignition tank. It's pretty good. But when you start taking damage, yeah, Planula. When you start taking like perma damage, it's really kind of mid, because you're trying not to get hurt regardless. Like, it's cool that you get a benefit when you do get hit, and maybe it'll help you get out of a sticky situation. Like if you're surrounded by Wisp and you start taking some damage, it's gonna kill them. But you're just trying not to get hit anyway. So I think this is a B. I'm gonna throw this right here. Gore's Tome, Capitalism Guidebook is pretty good. I kind of like it. It helps you farm through like the beginning stages. Someone said that, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. But if you get this like after loop, this is an immediate dismantle. This is an immediate go locate scrapper, throw it in there. So I think I'm gonna throw it in C. That might be a bit mean to it, because in the beginning it's so good, and you can even like pick up the gold on the ground right before you leave and still have like starting money. But it's just, I don't know, later game, in my experience, mid, and it doesn't help you in any other way besides give you money. This squid, see, squids are really fun. I actually genuinely like this item, but they are capped so hard by the very first tier of Eclipse. Having all of them start half health when they just decay and die anyway, they behave kind of like the ghosts from Happiest Mask in that way, where they just kind of vanish eventually. They pass away. I'm gonna have to put it in F. Yeah, I've had a video where they were really good, and it has amazing synergy with Caffeinator and Fireworks. It's so cool. Seeing all the squids pop up and start pushing everything around and shooting everything. They also scale with you, I'm pretty sure. Oh, on the ambient run level right there. Okay, man. Oh, and the last thing that makes me hate squid turrets, they can get possessed. I absolutely cannot stress enough that if one of these guys gets possessed and you're the only thing that is, shootable on stage, you're dead. You're not living through that. You're gonna get tagged one time, you're gonna immediately get collapsed. It's Jover. So nah. Deathmark good. How much, one thing I've always wondered, because I've never looked it up, is how big is the damage bonus for Deathmark? I've never really looked. I want to see. When a holder damages enemy for unique debuffs, mark for death for 7 seconds, causing 50% more damage. Good. We're going to put this in A, I think. The only thing I don't like about it is it's 4 debuffs. If it was 3 debuffs, thumbs up. But I almost never really have a great synergy run with this, because you have to get like so much, especially depending on your character too. Like if you're Commando, right, you don't really have any like default debuffs, and I don't think the suppressive fire stun counts. I could be wrong, I don't know, but it's kind of hard to get all of the things. But yeah, if you're Rex mains rise up here. If you're Rex, you already have 2 debuffs if you're using the alternative like grapple M5. So it's good, but it ain't S tier. Brilliant Behemoth. Explosion, 60% of total damage, that's pretty... I think I'm gonna put this here. So I'm gonna put it here, and it's all of your attacks too, which is kind of neat. It also, I think, who made that video? I think it was Disputed Origin or Cap. They made a video where it's like it has tech with the grenades where you throw it, and if that grenade like bounces on the enemy a bunch, it sits and blows up. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna put it in here. It's pretty cool. Goofy item. Daggers. This is one of my favorite items in the game. I love ceremonial daggers. It has probably one of the best synergies in the game with the Forgive Me Please. So I think I'm blind probably. It has effect with Essence of Heresy, where it can also like spread Essence of Heresy, which that also just has amazing synergy if you're willing to sacrifice your like final ability or you're playing bird. So ballin'. S. I like S. Is good. Frost Relic. Now, this also has doll synergy, but it's for you, not the doll. I don't think it's terrible. It's exceptionally good for melee characters, because you're always going to be within range if you're a melee character. I'm going to throw this in A, I think. I think it should sit in the same tier as the Focus Crystal, because it kind of has the same, like, gimmick. If you're a shooting character, like, man, I ain't never going to use this. But if you're a melee character, thumbs up, you know. Happiest Mask. Yeah. These are really good. I like them. If I was like 200 hours of me, I would say this is kind of mid. But I have a copious amount of hours now that I am ashamed to admit. I think this is pretty good. It also negates fall damage. Good item. I think S tier is not being overly generous for this item. It's very good. Nakana's Opinion. So I think we have to talk about how Nakana's Opinion works, because it's so weird. So weird. Right here. And it's so weird because it doesn't really, like, display. The wiki explains it pretty good. The holder heal, as the holder heals, the item stores 100% to 100% per stack of healing as a hidden value dubbed soul energy. So you can't see, like, the meter on this. Like, if there was a soul energy meter in, like, the bottom left above your level bar, when you pick this item up, that would be a neat change. So I can actually tell when I'm going to shoot skulls. And it has to reach 10% of the holder's max health. And then it launches a homing skull. Proc coefficient is 0.2. I didn't even know it had a proc coefficient. 40 meter radius isn't bad. So I think I'm gonna throw this in B. I don't think it's a bad item. I think it's one of the more unique legendaries. It's really cool, but it's just like, I just hate the hidden value thing, man. Just like, put it on my screen, show me when I'm gonna shoot skulls. You know, I think it's B. This Tesla coil, very good. Tesla coils is a little wacky though, because it has a recharge time, which I don't know how long it is, but I imagine it's around 10 seconds. Yeah, how'd I know? Without even knowing. 10 seconds. I don't like the recharge. And the other really annoying thing about this, if you're a melee character, if you take this to Mithrix, you are asking for immediate run end. You are praying to instantly die. And I really don't like that. So I'm going to throw this also in B. It's really potent. This thing is really powerful, especially if you're engineer. But I hate killing myself with it. I've done it before. And having to keep track of that timer on Mithrix is kind of obnoxious when you're already like deciding whether or not you want to engage with them at what time to get your items back. So I think B is fair for this item. Me and my friends lost many runs in fields against Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, when enemies get Tesla, it's a death sentence. It's really good for enemies, and it feels like it's not as good for you. It feels like it's always recharging and never hitting things. Okay. Clover. The lettuce. I'm going to put this in S. Having extra luck and it's stackable is insane. I don't think there's too much of a quarrel about that. I think it's really good. So I think I'm just going to judge this one early out of order, and I'm going to put this in like A, I think. The all stats up part is ballin', but getting this is extremely annoying. So, but it's like, you know, I'm not going to be mad if I get it. It's pretty good. All stats up is good. This thing, the meat hook annoys me. I think the damage it gives is cool, and like the item itself is really unique. I really like Meat Hook, but I hate like if the enemy lives, they get thrown and jostled around, and it just makes things so goddamn confusing sometimes. And I don't know what it is, but this item I almost never get Meat Hook. Every time I play this game, I never get a Meat Hook. So this might be a bias rating. I'm gonna throw this in B with the Tesla, I think. Let's see. Alien Head, increased ability cooldowns with no penalty. Like some of the other items that do give you ability cooldown do. I'm gonna throw this in A, I think. You guys think S? You guys think S, huh? It is no penalty, so I think, yeah. Alien Head good. I think S is a fair judgment. Spellbound. Spellbound's also really good. Insane when you have an equipment run, like you got DML, you got that crab shell, you got the pocket ICBM. It's crazy. So it has really good synergy with equipment runs, and I really like it. Soulbound, I'm gonna throw I'm gonna put this in A. This will be an A legendary. I really like it, but it's really only for equipment. Where are you at here? There it is. Yeah, by 4 seconds, and that's like, you know, +2 per stack. So I like it. It's a good item, but I don't think it's S. Hard Light Afterburner. This could be absolutely broken with certain characters. Like if you're Artificer, you get multiple walls. I think this is a solid S tier. I really like Hard Light Afterburner. One of my favorites. Really ballin'. Real quick, this too right here. There's no real debate about that. We don't need to sit down and rate it. Having an extra life with no penalty. Also ballin'. This thing. Man, Wake of Vultures. Wake of Vultures, yeah. I'm gonna put this here. The shield thing that it does and the whole, like, debate about it. Elite effects are awesome, but you can just get them permanently if you're extremely lucky with these. So, I think it's a pretty bad item. I'm gonna throw it in F. This thing, Brain Stocks, good. Just for killing an elite, ballin'. Has, what do you want to call it? Incredible synergy with the guillotine up here. I'm gonna throw this in, you guys think A. I think it should sit in S with the guillotine. Having unlimited cooldowns, it griefs you with the eye thing it does, like it turns your screen like purple. Man, everybody says A. I want to keep it up in S. I really like Brain Stocks. This doubles your healing. No bullshit. Not like this. Doubles your healing. Is pretty good. I think A as well, because it is just healing. It has good synergy with Nakanas. I think I'm gonna put this in B. It does give shields, and it's kind of good, but I don't know. Like some of the best healing items, it doesn't have synergy with, right? Like if you got slug, the moment you take damage, it kind of just I don't know. I think B. The hammer. Hammer good, but there is a direct upgrade that is permanent. So I'm gonna throw this in A, but the scorpion, when we get to it, will be above it. Because they both do the same thing. They both like delete the armor or cause like an effect on the enemy's armor that like deletes it, kind of. So I'm gonna throw it in A, and like I said, Scorpion will go above it when we find Scorpion. The disc. Disc is like weird, right? Because it's kind of on its like own charge time. Let me see if I can see it in the wiki. I should be able to when it pops up. Yeah, obtain a resonance disc charged by killing enemies. Oh, okay, so it is killing enemies. I thought it was on its own charge time, kind of like Nakana said. Like it's a different way of stacking. Killing 4 enemies in 7 seconds, charge a resonance disc. Disc launches this towards target 300% base damage. Damage good. Piercing all enemies. It doesn't kill and it explodes for 100,000%, or 100,000%, 1,000% base damage. Returns to users, striking all enemies along the way. I didn't know it struck enemies on the way back. Yeah, I'm agreeing with Yeetster here, honestly. If you could control when this thing comes out, right? Like I can just be like, oh man, it's charged. Okay, my primary attack will trigger it. Ballin' item, good item. but when you can't control it, and sometimes you'll like kill a bunch of enemies, and then the disc is just like, damn, everything's dead. I'm finna deploy, and then it deploys, it hits nothing, and it's just like, man, what the hell is this thing? I'm gonna throw this in B. This, I don't like how it goes away, but it would have to go away or the game would explode. Your graphics card would take off like a helicopter. I think I'm gonna put this one in B as well. This, I don't think there's a real big debate about it. You spawn with it, it deletes projectiles, all your drones get it on that character. It's insane. Yeah, I don't really have a big debate about it. I think it should go in S. You can also scrap it for free legendary if you like somehow manage to find like a legendary printer, you know. It's good. I'm gonna keep it in S. I like it.
Oh
Neural. Neural is regen, not healing. As we've found out before. Kind of a mid-boss item. The thing is with this item is like, man, all of these other boss items, besides like this one, really just actually do something. Even this one, even though you're not trying to take damage, you're probably going to die before this goes off. All of these like just kind of do better things. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a mid-boss item out of all the other ones that you could get. I'm going to throw it in D. I really don't like this thing. Okay, this is Buford. Queen's Gland. Queen's Gland, having Buford is funny, but like past, like into bigger stages and stuff when you're getting a lot of flying enemies and stuff like that, he just can't do anything. You know, he's a ground-based combatant. He's gonna slam, he's gonna sunder. He just can't do anything against flying enemies. So it has a really funny synergy with Warbanner, but you also can't like multiply this thing. If there was allies take aggro, yeah, true, it does take aggro for you. If there was an item, right, hear me out, Hopo, if there was an item called the one-time duplicator array or something like that, and there's like an item on the ground, works like recycler, but you look at it and it creates a copy of that item, this would go much higher. Because the thing about Queen's Gland is it's only one beetle guard. It's one beetle guard. If it gave you like 3 beetle guards per stack, this item would be insane. But it just don't do that. So I'm going to put this in a solid B. I love Buford. Buford is fun. But getting like an actual Buford run is so rough because it's such a low ally count. And, you know, he's only ground-based. Aurelionite. This is the Helicon Seed. You get it by killing Aurelionite and golden whatever. You get Aurelionite. This thing, pretty good. Having Aurelionite is based. He doesn't really, like, from what I've seen, he doesn't do too big of damage, but he's like a massive target. Everything wants to fight him when he shows up. It's also only one of him at a time, which is kind of, it would be broken if you could get multiple Aurelionites, though. I'm going to throw this in A, I think. I think this is a solid A. Having Aurelionite is fun. And there's like a unique interaction with Mithrix. When you have it, he pops up, he's like, the Guardian How, you know, like, it's really unique, it's really cool. Funny, A. I'm going to put an A. S tier and Mithrix fight, just because it's so cool. I disagree with the S tier and Mithrix fight. The reason I disagree is if you're having like an AoE run, right? Let's say you're having like, you've got like Brilliant Behemoth or like a ton of Will-O-Wisp, right? If Mithrix gets all your shit, he kills Aurelionite, and you just so happen to have like 25 gasoline and you're somewhat near him, is Jover. So that's, I've had a run before where I literally just die because I had Meat Hook and I had Bands and Aurelionite, and you know what happened? He spawned up on top of the platform up top. Mithrix shot him. He triggered the Meat Hook, which in turn triggered Bands on me, killed me instantly. So that's why he can't go up that high. We gotta keep him in A. Let's see. This thing, I love this item. I wish I could get it more. It's really, really fun to just run and have things like explode. And I think it also, real quick, I could be wrong, let me double check the thing here. It stacks the damage with the more you have. Where's that? There it is, right there. Yeah, 300% per stack. So like if you get more, which you won't because the item rarity is ridiculous, it can be pretty good. So I think this should sit in a solid A. Actually, you know what? No, we'll put this in S, mainly because you only have to sprint for this thing, and it has incredible synergy. This is pretty much just a health up. I'm gonna put it in B, the normal pearl. I'm just gonna quick judge it, throw it in B. Cope. This thing, molten perforator, pretty good. If you have ignition tank, it is absolutely godly. I think the proc chance is pretty low. I'm gonna double check on that. I think it's around 10%, the proc chance for molten perforator. I could be wrong. Let me double check. Aha, nailed it. 10% chance that 3 magma balls will spawn. So it's pretty good. I wish the proc chance was higher. I think I'm going to put it also in A, just below S. It's a really, really, really good item, and it has amazing synergy if you have the ignition tank. So I think we'll keep an A. Shatter Spleen. This thing. This is really good, but it relies on crit and having like a decent amount of crit. I think it also might give you a little bit, because all crit-based items give you +5. Let's double check here. Take a good look at it. A player gains 5% crit strike chance, so yeah, it does. And trance will inflict bleed. The additionally enemy dies while bleeding will explode, inflicting 400% damage. And it's good damage too. Shatter Spleen is really, really good. I never complain when I get it. I think we're going to throw this in S. I like Shatter Spleen. It's really good. The Urn. This thing. I have a grudge against this thing.
No.
To be completely honest. I don't like that it can target pots and blow up pots if you're really trying to do that. Granted, apparently you can just not attack anything for a little while and it won't, like, proc. It won't do anything. This is really, really, really good item if you're a melee-based character. So I think it should go in A with the other really good if you're a melee-based character items. So I'm gonna throw it in there with them. Yeah, A tier, I agree. If this thing didn't, like, if it procced way earlier in your health bar, maybe I lose like 10% and it goes off, it'd be broken. But for the most part, this thing is like gonna either explode and then you're just gonna die, or it's gonna explode or like not explode before you can even get it to, because you're just gonna die. So I'm gonna put it in F. I really don't like it. I hate picking it up. Mid. Wish it did something better. It's really good if you can get damage denial items with it. I'm gonna throw it in A, I think. It's not S because it comes with a hefty cost. No one-shot protection. But the damage it gives, pretty good. I think A. A is fair. This, the Crown. The Crown has very funny synergy with, what is it called? Very, very funny synergy with the Crowdfunder, for example. And I think it's just like the capitalism moment. I think it's a cool item. It also helps very early on, especially if you're not trying to take damage. And for that, I'm going to have to put this in A, I think, as well. This is a pretty good lunar item. The negative is pretty hard to avoid depending on what character you're on. But I think the benefit outweighs the negative. So we're going to throw that name. This thing. Transcendence. I'm going to throw this in, I think, also A tier. Corpse Bloom. This thing. I think it's double healing, but the delay is horrific. The delay is way too much. The negative outweighs the positive. Let's take a look real quick just to double check. Give it a really good fair assessment. Corpse Bloom, there it is. Oh, applied over time. It's not even a delay. 100% moral healing is applied over time. Can heal for a maximum of 10% of your health per second. Oh. Alright. I'm going to throw this here. I'm going to be raw. I've never picked it up. The crab shell. S. Crab shell, good. If you're having an equipment run, you need it, you know. Crab shell is just so good. The negative, I don't know what they were thinking with the negative being just activates immediately. It's just, I mean, you're wanting to activate it almost all the time anyway. I see what they're trying to do with it, but most of like the offensive equipment runs that you're going to have with it, like DML and stuff like that, there's no negative for activating it. Really bad with Recycler, true. I have had it with Recycler, but you can, if you know you have this with Recycler, you just have to, I think I did it in last video too, or last stream, you just have to turn left so your recycler doesn't target it, or left or right, and then pick it up from the corner of your your peripheral vision. All right, this thing, Strides of Heresy. Yeah, right here. Yes, yeah. Replaces your utility skill with Shadow Fade. So yeah, for Artificer it would be not very good, but for like every other character, if you're trying to, if you can't really get anything that's like keeping you safe, like you can't get any teddy bears, it's a good compromise. I like it. Vision of Heresy, I think this is called. I used to think this was really good on Engineer, but I kind of don't understand if it is or not, because it's like, it has a cooldown. If this was like infinite, right, you could just sit and, you know, shoot it forever. I would like it so much more, but the fact that it starts a cooldown after your stack is deleted, the cooldown can be affected, but I don't know. I think this should sit in B. I think C is being too mean. It can be really funny. I think it's kind of funny sometimes to just have on a character. I'm gonna keep it here. I think this should just sit in A. You have to really, it's like Transcendence. You have to really commit to it in that sense. So I'm gonna put it in A. Also, that area, I'm sorry, there's all the environments in Risk of Rain look really good and really pretty. The area that you unlock with this, the place, it's one of my favorite areas. I really like how a moment between time, or a moment shattered, or whatever it's called, looks. It's really cool. So I think it should stay in A. Focus Convergence. If you are on a lower Eclipse, Focus Convergence, ballin'. If you're on Eclipse 8, it's already small. It doesn't need to go smaller. And time in this game is like debatable if it matters. Like if you have really good synergy, like the Pocket ICBM synergy, you're just gonna destroy the game. The game has no chance against you, no matter like how high level the enemies think they are. If you're getting the max proc, you know, it don't matter. So time is kind of mid in this game now. If time mattered more, like if they put a Spitshine update, like I said before, and time was like super important again, like if I'm literally 10 seconds off on the next stage, I die, this would be very good. But it's just not. So I'm gonna throw this in B. I think B is fair. Glowing Meteor. I think this thing, and I could be wrong, but let me double check. Hurting both enemies and allies, damaging all characters for 600% damage per blast, last 20 seconds. Can this proc your effects? Proc with a proc coefficient of, yeah, okay. So it suffers from linear damage fall off, but it does have a proc coefficient. Does that proc coefficient work with your items? Because if it does, holy, that's bad. That's really a bad idea to pick this up. If you're really trying to grief your teammates, like you're playing with some friends and you're like, guys, yo, check this out. What? You know, why is my screen turning dark? Moment. You're just about to like mess with them. It's pretty funny for messing with them, but it's terrible for you. It's such a bad item, unless you can fly. Because I'm pretty sure it's only on the ground. I'm gonna put it in C. I think I'm gonna put it in C. Funny for trolling. This Hellfire Tincture. I'm gonna say Hellfire Tincture is like A. I really like it, but if you pick up Ignition Tank, you're straight up dead. Don't pick up Ignition Tank. And if you're trying to avoid damage, like if you're in the latter versions of Eclipse, like you're in 8, and you're really trying to avoid damage, you don't want to pick up this item. But it has really funny synergy with this right here. I keep moving it because I can't hover over without moving it. With the, what is it called? With the razor wire, you know, it's just all around kind of funny. I think A is fair. Just don't pick up Ignition Tank. Don't pick up Ignition Tank. This thing. Let me think. Effigy of Grief is funny. I actually used to really hate this item. Effigy isn't even a troll, it's S tier. I can just summon the dolls on top of my captain friend with no movement and watch them struggle. I'm gonna put this thing. I really like the cripple. I don't like how it can hit you, but you know it's a lunar item, so you know it was gonna happen anyway. I'm gonna put this in C. I think it's pretty funny, and it really does slow enemies down. Like it no joke, it destroys enemy movement speed. I think it is fair for that. just don't walk in. Just like don't get hit. The wacky slash. I love the wacky slush. But getting crippled by it is horrific. I think we'll put this in A because it's pretty funny. We'll put it in A because with the crab shells, you get like the drunken warrior build. You're just kind of going off. It's kind of funny. It's really unique. So I'm gonna have to throw it in A. This thing here, no debate. I never use it. I don't like summoning enemies from every single shrine. When there's a shrine that literally does that, no, we throw it in F. No big debate. Mercurial Ratchus, I think is how you say that, or Rackus, or however you say it. Let me go take a look at it. I kind of think Mercurial's funny. I think it's a cool item. There it is, right there. Okay, Mercurial Ratchus, Rackus, however you say this. This thing, the power buff is funny, and it's 50% damage, so it's the same as Deathmark for just like standing in like a circle, right? Because it's gonna randomly appear. I didn't know it was a 16-meter radius. That's cool to know. I've never really had a run with this. I could try to get a run with this to like give it a more fair rating. It's kind of like, yeah, Warbanner, but linear. Well, I don't know about the linear part. See, the thing is with Warbanner, oh, Lunar, I was about to say. So the thing about Ratchus is it moves all the time, and it moves every 30 seconds? Roughly 27 seconds. So fair to round it to 30, but 27 is what the wiki says. This item is funny. I should try to get a run with this. It sucks when other enemies get into it, which, depending on what enemies they are, they're going to jump right into it, like lesser Lemurians or beetles, the rats, the blind vermin. They'll jump right into this thing with you and hurt you, but it's pretty funny. 50% damage is good. I'm going to throw this in A. And I'll, to like really see if it should belong there, I'll try and get a run with it, with Ratchus, and see how good it's going to be. Purity. Purity is one of my favorite items in the game. I love what it does. Being unlucky at the cost of just having more ability cooldowns. And I think if I remember correctly, put it back down here. It's shaves off 2 seconds of your cooldown. Let me double check. 30, there it is. Okay. Yeah, by 2 seconds. But you were unlucky. The you were unlucky part, like, yeah, but I mean, if you're not, let's say, scenario, you're going into a run, you're Artificer, you find Purity, but you've been noticing, man, they ain't no goddamn proc chance items. You ain't seen no bleed, you ain't seen no sticky bombs, you ain't seen nothing like that. Solid. Because it's you have to like commit to it. It's like Transcendence. If you're gonna pick it up, you've got to commit to it. Unless you find a Lunar Cleansing Pool, which is rare, blah blah blah. I think it's a fair A tier. The negative sucks, but the 2 seconds is very great for certain characters, like Mercenary as well. DML, man, first of the equipments, slap that up an S. I'm biased. Sorry. I'm biased about Disposable Missile Launcher. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't do that much damage, but there is like no negative to having it really, and it has insane it's missiles, so of course it's missile synergy. Missile synergy is like the best in the game. It kills everything. No big debate. DML. This Foreign Fruit. Foreign Fruit is funny. It's 50% of your HP. We already reviewed it. In sticky situations, like you somehow activate it before a collapse hit or something, and it saves you. I don't even know if you can do that with it, or you're about to die, you got like 15 HP, or you can't find any healing items. It's okay. I think I'm gonna throw this in B. I like B with this item here. It's funny. It's funny, but situational. Gnarled is better. Yeah, Gnarled with Sprite is just like an upgrade to this thing. It's less HP on activation, but you constantly have passive healing. So yeah, so it's gonna sit in B. This thing, Black Hole, very funny, has big range. It's terrifying when a scavenger gets it and activates it on you. I'm gonna throw this one also in A tier, I think. Well, it'll be our first A tier. It's really good. And it has very funny synergy with like the fire band. You know, you activate it, everything gets sucked in, and then you just like, boop, proc the band in the black hole. Ain't nothing getting away from that. They're all gonna die. So I'm gonna throw it in A tier. 100% crit chance, ocular HUD. For how long again? I believe it's around 10 seconds, but let's double check. Let's take a good look here. There it is. 100%. Oh, for 8 seconds. You know, it is funny crit synergy. If you had like predatory instincts and you had or like you had this, for example, the Warhorn, it has funny equipment synergy if you really can't get any crit. Like, let's say you're gonna run, you haven't found any crit glasses, you haven't found anything that's like gonna give you some bonus crit. It clutches up for crit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to throw this also in A. It's a really good equipment. The backup is very fun if you have Cold Droneman. It's great equipment synergy. I hate how they die after, I think it's 30 seconds. Let's double check here. Where you at, backup? There it is. Last 25 seconds. It's not 30 seconds. It's 5 less seconds. I think this should go in really good equipment for an equipment drone. True. It also has fantastic equipment drone synergy. It's just like good if like if you're captain too, like you're about to jump into the teleporter, you know you're gonna get mobbed. So let's activate it and get all my like damage denial little like pod things that shoot stuff. I think it's really good. So I can't put this below B. I refuse to put it below B. I think it's one of the really good equipment. I'm going to put it in A. I might get clowned on for that, but I think it's really good A equipment, and it has really good drone synergies and stuff, ally synergies. So I like it. Those drones do shit damage over 30 seconds. True. They don't do a lot of, well, like I'm saying, it does rely on like having Cold Droneman, but it's like easy W if you have Cole. Easy W if you have Cole. And you can, like I said, you pick it up, you give it to an equipment drone, or not I said, somebody said that. Really good for taking equipment drones or whatever. You give it to an equipment drone, and you just gain 4 extra drones just randomly over time, while you still keep that one drone on your ally list. So I think it deserves A. I'm sorry. This is pretty good. The cooldown is absolutely egregious for Prion Accumulator. One, you like, holy, you know, the cooldown is horrific, but it is really cool. And when you get it with like Uke or something, watching all just the electricity go absolutely nuts is pretty cool. I think it's a neat equipment, but just, man, that cooldown. Trying to get that cooldown down is really rough. So I'm going to put it in B, I think. I like it in B. Okay. Milky Chrysalis. Milky Chrysalis, for me, and I'm gonna get hate. Here we go. S tier item. I'm sorry. It's so good. You activate it, you mash spacebar, and you just go fast. You get to fly, and flying on every character is so broken because the AI in this game doesn't know verticality very well. Let me tell you, when they're in their lanes and you fly up really high, the ally just goes, huh? And or the AI just, you know, questions really what's going on. There's not a lot of lanes for the enemies that go up, so you can just abuse it. It's just like Artificer's Ion Surge, you know. I think Royal Capacitor is pretty good. The cooldown is very short. It does do decent burst damage. More often than not, I've seen enemies get hit by this and just not care. They just like get shot to the ground. They do take physics damage if they go flying far enough though. But the cooldown is really fast. So I do have to put this in S. It's very good. Royal Capacitor, very good. The Crowd Funder. This thing is so much fun. I love Crowd Funder. Having just like a minigun on my shoulder is very fun. It is an L that it takes money, but it has extremely powerful synergy with this item here. So yeah, as long as you're not getting hit, you're getting money. You could just sacrifice your money. And especially like, let's say, man, I've showed up. I've cleared the whole stage. There's no chest left. I've got more money. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to shoot it. What do you think I'm going to do with it? So it's a funny item. I'm going to put this in A tier. I like the crowdfunder a lot. Maybe some hate for that, but I really, really like the crowdfunder. Gnarled Wood Sprite. One of my favorites. Has very good running synergy with the Nakanda's opinion and stuff. I think it's a healing item. I think we should... I kind of want to put this in B, but not because I think it's bad, just because it's like a healing synergy thing, and like healing synergy things are always kind of like rough to do. Let's see, radar scanner. I really never use this thing. I think just at a quick glance, we're gonna put radar scanner in C. It does unveil everything, but like if you've played the game enough, you kind of understand how the game is working and where to look for stuff. So I think C is C tier for scanner. Vase really good for the Mithril skip. You don't want to do pillars and you are not confident in doing any of like the funky skips like the railgunner skip or something. This is pretty good. But it doesn't do anything else. Imagine if this, every time you hit E, it activated fireworks. Broken item if that was the case. But it don't do that. But it is a skip item. Skip items are high up. I think B is generous enough for it, just because it didn't do anything else. If you're really low on speed, it's also good too. Like, oh man, I wish I could get over there faster. Oh, I can't. I get the vase. You know, me activate it. I'm gonna keep it B. Okay. Now we got this thing right here. This is the Blast Shower. Blast Shower is pretty good. Very good with bans. You can instantly reset its cooldown. I'm going to put this in S. It can also get rid of Collapse. And with Collapse being as deadly as Collapse is, deleting effects, very good. So it's going to sit in S. The egg. Volcanic egg or something, whatever this is called, volcanic something. Mid. I'm gonna be real, I've never picked this up, never really been able to make a cool video on it, mainly because you can still be hit while you're in the like invulnerability thing. If this thing did the level of invulnerability that this did, crazy, absolutely based, no big issues. But because it doesn't do that, it's just not, you know, really great. So I'm gonna throw this thing in C, I think, with a radar scanner. Actually, no, yeah, C with radar scanner, because the mobility it gives is nice. It doesn't last as long as I would like it to, so I think C is fair. This thing, gaining armor, Jade Elephant is what this thing is called. I think it's 100% armor. Let's double check, or it might be 300%. Let me see how much armor it is. Armor. Here it is. 500 armor for 5 seconds. Really funny equipment synergy. I think this thing is gonna be like... I really like the armor it gives, but I think, especially if like you're multi, right, and you've already got decent armor, you've got like 2 rose bucklers, you're using power mode, so you're like, or is it called power mode, or you know, the race car mode, where you're like zooming around, you know. I really don't think you need something like this. I don't know where armor like caps out at, to be honest. I think this can stay in B, just because it doesn't do anything else. It's a fat armor bonus, but some characters just have armor, so B, I think. Blades. What is this called again? Sommering? Yeah, Sommering. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about this thing. I think the range is too low for it, personally. I think I'm also gonna keep this. Oh, it can proc bleed though. Let's take a look at its proc coefficient for bleed. Throws a large saw blade, slice their enemies for 3 times 400% damage. Also does an additional 3 times 100% damage per second, while bleeding enemies. Okay, so it gets a damage bonus when the enemies is bleeding, in a proc coefficient of 1.0. Okay. What are we thinking, chat? What are we thinking? I think we can debate about it a little bit more later, but I think we can put it in A. It's not like a terrible equipment. Me personally, I've never really been able to get like a really Sommering based run. But I think we'll keep it in A, because it does proc bleed, and it's okay. Let's see. The Slug, or Supermassive Leech. Pretty okay. Supermassive Leech, I think we should probably put this thing in, I think, oh man, I think I'm gonna throw this in B. It's kind of like, it's like the Jade Elephant, right? Where you get the armor or the healing for a short time. You gotta hit enemies for this to be active. It can save your life, but more often than not, like, relying on like a clutch up item. Remember, it's like a clutch up item. You could just fail the clutch and die. So I think I think B is fair for this thing. It's just not very, you know. Go Rags Opus. This is the thing that enrages all of like your allies and your friends in multiplayer if you're in multiplayer. I think this thing is pretty funny. I like having this with ally-based runs. I think it's really fun to just buff all your little allies and stuff. I'm gonna put this in A. I don't think it's S, because I think it's, let's see, pretty sure it's like 25 seconds, but we'll double check here. Just to really make sure. Just to really make sure we're not making a mistake here. Here it is. Oh, Frenzy for 7 seconds, not 25. I said 25, it's 7 seconds. Movement speed by 50 and attack speed by 100%, though, is very funny. So, equipment drones spam that all the time. Yeah. So, I think it's based to put it here in A. I think that's a fair assessment to keep it in A. Forgive me, please. If you asked 10 hours me, I would say F. If you ask me now, easy. Easy S tier equipment. The blazing aspect. I think the blazing aspect is really good because it can get buffed by an item, which is kind of weird because some of the other ones don't really do that. Ignition Tank helps this thing a lot. So I think getting the blazing item is probably the best one you can get because it just gives you like permanent fire on all your attacks. So I'm going to put blazing one in S. I think that's fair to keep this here. It's pretty good. So we'll keep it in S. I think this is the bite one, the Winter's Bite one, and this is the overloading one. The Winter's Bite one can't be really buffed by anything. If you need Death Mark, it's okay, because it's just permanent slow, pretty much. But some characters have permanent slow, like Void Fiend, and it's not that good. It's not that good. So I'm gonna throw this one down in B. It's really cool to get it. It helps with Death Mark, but like so many other things help with Death Mark. So B. Overloading. I like the overloading one a lot, but the thing about the overloading one is like the little bombs or whatever. I just feel like they don't do a lot of damage. Do I have research to back that up? No, but it just feels that way from the ways that I've had this thing before. I'm gonna throw it. It's definitely above the frozen one. I'm gonna put it in A. That might be slanderous, but I think it's fair to put in A. I think this is the Malachite one. I think I've gotten this before, to be honest. And applying Malachite to things, you don't really need it, right? You would think you'd need it with Mending Elites, but Mending Elites, like, especially later in the run when you have like good synergy and stuff, they kind of just die. You don't really need to counter healing, and the healing that Mending Elites also give other enemies is not nearly as dangerous. Like, I'm gonna be real, right? I played this game a lot. I've seen a lot of Mending Elites. There's not a time where I've seen Mending Elites unless there's more than 3. Like, and the director usually only spawns them from 1 to 3, and it likes to spawn them when the boss is, like, getting attacked. From my experience, I don't know if that's accurate, but when I play the game, that's how I feel all the time. And you're never really going to get this until late game. And when you get this late game, all the Mending Elites are already going to die, because the only thing the Mending Elites do is heal. So, I'm going to cope. I'm throwing this beneath the freeze one. I'm going to throw this in C, actually. Spectral Circlet is what it's called, but it's the Celestine aspect. It's pretty mid. It does make all your allies invisible, so it's really funny to have on like an ally run, right? Like I got Cold Drone Man, I got 35 drones, and all my dudes are f***ing everybody up. It's pretty good. But typically, you want your drones to take aggro, not lose it, because it takes pressure off you. Because I mean, like, if you die, the run is over, you know, unless you've got an extra life, run dead. So you want... You really want drones to kind of take that aggro from you, and if they die, you can just kind of buy them back. So... I'm gonna throw this in D beneath the Malachite one. We have this thing, Charge Perforator. It's really good. I'm gonna put this in S. I really like it. Planula. Healing items are wacky in this game. I'm gonna throw this, I think, in C. Because it's like the thing with medkit. I don't think it can be canceled by damage. Let's double check. But I think it's of players' health too. It's not like an actual value. It's of your value. Heal from incoming damage for 15. Okay, so it's not even like 15% of your health. So it's just 15%. But it's not cancelable by damage, I see. So good for synergy with the what is it called? The Hellfire Tincture up here. I'm gonna keep this in C. It's only 15, and it's a yellow item. Once again, there are yellow items that just do so much better, and just a yellow item rarity for 15 healing. This Empathy Cores. Moving on. Empathy Core is very good. Now this thing. Let's see. I remember how this works. I've used it before. It's pretty funny. The range leaves something to be desired. I'm gonna put this in B, I think. This thing, Essence of Heresy. I love Essence of Heresy. It's one of my favorite items in the game, so I am biased. I'm gonna throw this in A because I like it so much, but it has fat synergy with Deathmark, and fat synergy with this. It can proc it, stuff like that. It's just really cool, and watching like this big crystal buff stack on something, and then you just activate it, and it immediately passes away is very funny. I like it. I think it should stay in A. The only reason it's not S, in my opinion, is Mithrix can cleanse the debuff, I'm pretty sure, because Mithrix like cleanses debuffs when he jumps up and stuff. So I'm gonna keep this A. Not S, but A. All the scrap, I'm gonna be real, boys. I'm gonna put all of the scrap in F. And the reason I'm putting all the scrap in F is not because I think it's like scrap is bad, or having like scrap is bad. It's just because it does nothing for you while you have it scrapped. You typically don't scrap an item and then be like, dog, I'm going to keep this red scrap for the rest of the run. You know, it's really going to help me out. No. You don't do that. It literally does nothing for you while you have it. It's not bad. It just doesn't do anything until you can convert it into something. So I'm putting all the scrap in F. Okay, it's just resource management stuff. So I don't really know where else to put it. It's all gonna stay here. Coffee. Coffee does two things, and I like it. I think it's a funny item. The only thing is with coffee is it doesn't give you what is it called? It gives you two bonuses, right? It gives you movement and attack speed. But the thing is both of those bonuses are very, very small. Let me show you. I think it's around, the attack speed is around like 2%, and the movement speed is around like 5%. So let's double check on that. Oh, attack speed by 7 point. Okay, I'm wrong. 7.5% and movement speed by 7%. It's still pretty low. Yeah, half a hoof. So I think I'm gonna put this thing in like B. I think B is fair because it's very low. I like it. It's a very funny item, and like I do love coffee genuinely. But it's just like, you know, it does both things instead of one thing, right? And you're getting only like half of those other things. Now, this Delicate Watch. Delicate Watch is funny because it's one of the two items in the game that is perishable or disposable or whatever you want to call it. It can break. So this thing, the 20% increase damage, and this is bonus damage. So you need to like, you have like an item with it. Okay. So like I need a crit or focus crystal. Okay. or like my character's default proc coefficient needs to be like okay, because my proc is going to do more damage. It's good. It's good, but it can break. And depending on what you're really doing, you're going to break it. Like almost positive. If you have like damage denial stuff, it's really good. If like, let's say you find a printer, 2 printers during your run. You find printer for this, and you find printer than this. Value trade value good, because you get damage denial, which is what you need to protect your watches in order to do your damage. So I think we'll put this in A, but you need damage denial. You need something that's going to save you, just in case. So, but A is good. Okay, roll of pennies. Moving on. This, lean. We love the lean. Lean can save your life. It's very good. It's perishable, but it's very good. It's like a miniature Dio's best friend, is how I kind of like to think about it. I'm going to keep this here. I really like lean. F for pennies, wow. Yeah, pennies is terrible. I've seen the argument about it where it's like, but it's money on damage, man. And like, I play Eclipse. I'm not supposed to be taking damage. That's the first thing. 2, I have used this before with the Tinkature, right? You'd be thinking, infinite money glitch, you know, working 2023. I'm about to be rich. I don't have to worry about anything. But in my experience, this synergy doesn't work. And it would easily be the strongest for it. I've had these 2 items together before, and it just doesn't work. I could be wrong, but from my experience, garbage. And the only way I can see this thing being good without a synergy, right, is if you have, like, engineer turrets. And the engineer turrets get it, but I think it's money for them. And why do the turrets need money? I could be wrong, and the money goes to you, but once again, it's just something that's never really happened for me. Nothing I've really been able to experiment with. Golden taking damage, scales over time. I mean, the scales over time is nice. Don't get me wrong. That's better. If it was like, man, you only get 3 gold every time you take damage, then like, yeah. But it starts at 3 gold. Because there's so many arguers in the chat, right, that really like roll of pennies. We'll put this. I'll bump this a single tier up, but it goes no higher. No higher, because it's worthless in E8. Worthless item. This is a oddly shaped opal. Oddly shaped opal, it's damage reduction on hit, not damage like deletion, like tougher times. It's damage reduction, and I don't know how much it is. Armor by 100%. Oh, while out of damage. Okay. So it's armor by 100%. I think opal's pretty good. I've never picked this thing up and been like, damn, okay, it kind of sucks. It can save you from taking like super bad initial damage from like brass contraptions or something that's gonna hit you really hard right off the rap. It's useless against like machine gunners because, you know, machine gunners shoot a bunch. I think this is a safe A. I don't think it's an S, because it's just like, you know, it's 100 armor, and there's other things that give you much more armor. But I think it's fat value, so A is fine. Shipping request form, moving on. So the thing about shipping request form is it's the same situation as the key. When you pick it up, it doesn't give you that item immediately on the stage. It's gonna give you the choice next stage, right? But it is value, and you can stack it, I believe. And when you stack it, it increases the rarity of the item chance in the actual delivery. Oh, increases rarity of the item per stack, right here. Yep, I'm blind, right here. So yeah, it does. It's value. If you can stack it, like maybe if you find a printer and like you get like 3, 4 of these, pretty good, pretty value. But by itself, it's kind of wacky. But it is value. Like I'm never gonna pick this up and be like, you know, damn, that's crazy. It's opportunity, a chance for value. So I think A is a safe assumption for shipping request form. Hunter's Harpoon. Here. D. D for Harpoon. So Copers for roll of pennies. If roll of pennies gets to sit in D, Harpoon also sits in D. This right here, Shurikens, it can be good. Shurikens is like, when I pick them up, I almost always want to get rid of them because Mithrix can get them, and playing in Eclipse all the time, I never want to give Mithrix an item that's really strong for him. Like, this thing moves so much faster than his actual machine gun shot that if he picks this up, you are most definitely going to forget about it, and it is most definitely going to hit you, and you are most definitely going to die on the final phase, which is depressing. I've had it happen before. So I think this is funny. It can proc bans though, which is pretty funny. I will put this in D. It's not complete F, and the damage it does is kind of funny. Also, if you're a melee character, like let's say you're playing Bidacrid, you're on your first stage, you pick up shurikens, this can help you against wisps. Like, you know, you're getting mobbed by wisps, you look up, you whoosh, whoosh, you know, throw it on recharge. I don't like the recharge, but it isn't completely and utterly useless. Free loot. A. It's fine. Ignition tank. Good. S tier. No real debate. This thing right here. Increased crit chance. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to take a look at it though first before I really make my final judgment. But giving yourself bonus crit damage is just, you know, is good. Yeah, deal an additional 100% damage. Let's see. I think this is a fair assessment of where that should be. It's just a straight buff to crit. It's pretty, like, ununique. Like, it's, you know, these are all, like, pretty unique. You know, all your attacks explode, homing daggers on death, no fall damage, slam the ground, increase the only item in the game that really increases your proc chance. No, you know, ability cooldowns with no penalty, extra life, deletes objects. It's just kind of like, you know, this thing is good. It's good. It's just not very unique is the only thing it really suffers from. So I think it should stay S. Okay, this thing right here. This is the Cauldronman. I don't think there's a lot of debate about it. Cauldronman is absolutely destroyed, busted level, ridiculous. Having your drones just like all get little Glocks and shoot, even equipment drones that have, if you don't have give them equipment that's like DML or something that's offensive, they get guns too. Just for having that drone on your team, it's really good. I'm going to keep it there. I think Cauldronman is good. It's intended for ally synergy. It also makes like the ground turrets a little bit better until you finally hit the lane stage and then lose them all the mushrooms. But, you know, it's pretty good. I think this is good. Let's see. Ben's Raincoat. Yeah. Pocket ICBM. Moving on. Scorpion. Moving on. Bottled Chaos. Moving on. Okay, well, no, I'll put this here. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I hate Bottled Chaos so much. I hate Bottled Chaos more than you can imagine. And it's because it's the same thing with, like, Quail and Harpoon, but it's, like, 8 times worse. You lose your, like, control over your character. Let's say you get a Bottled Chaos run, right? And you're, like, activating your Bottled Chaos every, like, 10 seconds. You got a really fast equipment, so it's happening really quick. Bro, you are not going to be able to control your character, like, at all. You're going to get flashbanged by the radar scanner every 10 seconds. Like, it's absolute schizophrenia. It's worse than, like, TM Trainer and Isaac. But, like, at least TM Trainer and Isaac can actually be good sometimes. This is just always a negative. Always a negative. Defense Nucleus is pretty ballin'. I like it. I don't like, though. Hold on. We'll go to the wiki real quick to talk about this. It's limited to 3. And I didn't even know that, apparently. But it is. Oh, limited to 4. Sorry, not 3. Elite Monsters, Alpha Construct. It does have... Don't get me wrong. This has really, really good synergy with this. But it's also... The other really annoying thing about this is... your, like, little alpha constructs, if they kill an elite, it doesn't work. Like, they're not going to summon more alpha constructs because it has to be you that killed the elite. So, like, you have to be the guy that decides, like, I'm going to kill this thing, okay, now these guys are going to sum it up. And then since they also kill things, they can, like, destroy an elite that you are shooting, and now you just don't summon a dude. So, it's kind of wacky. I'm going to put this thing in B. I really like it. This thing. Okay, this is like Purity, but instead it takes away your attack speed. I'm gonna go to it real quick just to get... So decreases your your skill cooldowns by 50%, but it also decreases your attack speed by 50%. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like this item. I think it's funny for Artificer and really no one else. Like, maybe Merc, it's okay, but Merc kind of needs the attack speed. Artificer really doesn't, because all of her stuff is cooldowns, and all of it is pretty one-off. So I'm going to put this below Purity, because it kind of does the same thing as Purity. I think B is safe for this. Okay, this thing. I've used this like twice. Like, ever. Man. I'm going to throw this in like F tier, I think. Ego? Ego is funny. I don't think it's S, but I am going to put this A. Ego's really fun. It's a really great equipment, but you have to commit to it. I cannot stress it enough. If you take this thing and you're like halfway through the run, you're like, damn, I'm going to get rid of this now. And if I find a Lunar cleansing pool, like, keep in mind, you just still lost like half of your stuff to Ego, and you just like lose it when you get rid of it. You know, you don't like donate Ego to the Lunar cleansing pool and keep the Ego. It takes that stack of Ego away. You lose it. So it's really funny if you get the card, though. If you get the Mama's credit card, this shit's funny. Like, it's very funny. Okay, this thing, the Domino, I call it, but it's called Eulogy 0. This thing is pretty funny. I kind of like it. I'm gonna throw this, I think, in B. Converting certain items into Lunar items can be a pretty annoying detriment. But it also can be really helpful depending on if you're really needing those Lunar items. Like this right here. I think C is a value spot for Eulogy 0. Genuinely. Trophy Hunter's Tricorn. Moving on. Gobo Jr. Let's see. Gobo is pretty funny. I like Gobo a lot. I think he's limited to 3. He's just like the other thing, but at least with him, like, the ally you get from it is unique enough to kind of stay alive and really matter a lot. So, oh, Matt, here we go. A maximum of 3 Gummy clones can be spawned by the holder. They can get possessed, which is extremely dangerous, but just don't let them get possessed, Forehead. Don't hit any Void Cradles when you have him out. It's a funny item. I think we'll put Gobo in A here. I think that's fair for Gobo. He's very fun. Probably one of the more unique equipments in the game, too. I think it's neat. Very cool, very cool. Now, Molotovs. Here. Molotovs are weird because it's like, they have this weird thing where you have your Molotovs and you throw it out, right? And it hits a target and it gives it like one burn stack, and then they just like spread out everywhere, and all of that burning is ground based, and it's in like medium small sized pools. So if, like, let's say I'm fighting a bunch of wisps, useless. You're not gonna kill anybody with this. So I'm gonna keep it in C. I think C is a fair assessment for this. We have Mama's credit card. I think that's fair for Mama's credit card. Remote Caffeinator. This thing has really funny synergies, like really, really good synergies too. Like if you get Pocket ICBM and Fireworks with like some proc stuff, once again, the game cowers in your presence. So it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like S tier, but I would say it's around A, and it's really unique like Gobo. It's pretty cool. Just always being able to summon like a little soda machine. It costs money. This is the, what is it called? The Mending Elite Aspect. I'm going to be real mid. If you were having an ally run and you're really wanting to keep your allies alive, cool. But not only is it so rare to do that, but it doesn't do anything else here. Unless like you're wanting to heal your drones, and your drones are pretty resistant to dying anyway, unless like live grandparent reaction. So really, it's not that great. I'm gonna keep it with the Malachite Circlet and the Celestine Circlet here in D, I believe. I think it should stay about right here. This right here, this is like the other version of this, you know, everybody knows. It's like, instead of being able to delete multiple times, you get one big guaranteed immune. I kind of like it. This thing helps get like a ton of free void loot, right? Like you get on a stage, you see some void seeds, and you're kind of low on healing items. We don't got to worry about it if you got this, because you can just get them for free. It's gonna block it every time. I think this is A. I like safer spaces. I think it's pretty cool. Needle tick, bad when Mithrix gets it, but good when you have it. I think, oops, I dropped it. I think I'm gonna put this one in A, I think. Yeah, I think A is fine. I think A is fine. I don't want to put this in S because, man, if Mithrix gets it, good lord, it's Jover. But, you know, also because Collapse is just so deadly to the player. But I'm going to keep it here at A. A reasonable, I think. Like, if you have a high stack of bleed, you don't want to take it because bleed is just better over time. But if you have, like, a low stack of bleed, you want to take this because it's just, it's better. Like, the easiest way to explain it. So, you know, that's what chat tells me. And I take that as facts. I'm kidding. I'm gonna, yeah. See, I'm gonna be real. I don't like Lost Seer lenses. The chance is way too low, and it takes crit, which is like your damage. It doesn't delete bosses. So, like if this deleted Mithrix, like all the way up, but it don't. It don't. Rungus A. It's definitely not S because like you need to stack it. But it's really good. So I don't think it should be anything lower than A. But it is really good. It is really good. I think I'm gonna throw Key in B tier right here. If the website would stop doing that. Let's throw this in B tier here. Is Key in here? Well, where's Key actually? Put it with Key. Okay, yeah. No, we'll put it in the same tier as Key, right? That's pretty fair. Mainly because it's just this. It's this, but it's also 3 choices. So you get to choose out of 3 choices. But like Void Loot has some, what is it called? Specific like rarity pools in the actual Void Loot itself. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but you know, I think it should share the same area as Key. Okay, Poly Loot. I think that's good. Bands. I think that's good. Now we got this Layside Cell. I think this should be in A. I kind of like A for this thing. It's it can be annoying. Like, let's say you're having an equipment run, right? It's the same thing as Rungus, right? Where you're having a really good equipment run, and you're like summoning DML volleys every 10 seconds. You've got pocket ICBM. Then suddenly you fat finger. You pick this up. This is Void Sent Flame. This thing is like kind of weird. I like it, but I hate it at the same time. It's the alternate version of Will-O-Wisp, so it like always explodes enemies the moment you hit them instead of when they die, right? I think that's pretty cool, but it feels like it doesn't do as much damage as Wisp does, but I also said that about Wisp. So I think this one will also sit in A. But there's still that moment of like, man, I've got Forgive Me Please, and I've got like 38 Will-O-Wisp. Should I really take this? No, you shouldn't. Like, you know, it can ruin your synergy. So it's still very good though. But it's same tier as these because you got to be careful with it. You got to be careful with it. Shrimp already is going to sit in A because it's really good. Don't get me wrong, Shrimp ballin', but it can also ruin your synergy. Let's say you got Pocket ICBM, you got ATGs, right? And you've got like 35 ATGs. You're doing a ton of bonus damage with those ATGs. And if you pick up Shrimp, you're going to lose all that bonus damage. And you've got to keep that shield. So it's good. Don't get me wrong. Shrimp good, especially if you have like Bleed or something to help like stack your actual effects. But it can ruin your synergy, so you've got to be careful. So you should sit in the same tier, I think. Tentabobble? Here. It is just a straight upgrade to the Chrono Bobble. It can be a little bit wacky with the chance, but it's just very good. Now, we're down to the last items, boys. Let's see. Man. This is cool. I really love this thing. It's super unique, benthic, but it's like ruins your synergy. Like you start a run and the whole point is like building, you know, and you're going crazy with your build, but then you pick this up and it's like, damn, it's crazy. My whole build dead. But it is. If you hold it long enough, it's just straight up a guaranteed win. Like you can't lose with it. The only thing that you don't get with it is like movement speed. So yeah, S. I think S, you don't always have to take it, but it is just straight a guaranteed win. And I think that's why some people don't take it. This is Pupaean Larva. Extra life at the cost of when you die. When you resurrect, you're going to have like, it's going to convert a bunch of your convertible void items, right? So like you got crit glasses, you die with this thing, you're going to revive, you're going to get Lost Seer's Lens. Terrible. That hurts. But it can be good, right? Let's say you've only found one HEG or something like that, and you pick it up, and then you find a pocket ICBM, and the pocket ICBM isn't really like helping you that much, but then you die, and then suddenly now you have Shrimp with pocket ICBM, and you just have a better version of Shrimp. You know, it can be good. In the same tier as everything else, that can kind of mess up your synergy if you're not careful. So I'm gonna put this in A. I feel like that's fair. This thing. What are you called again? Newly hatched Zoa. Okay, newly hatched Zoa. I'm gonna throw this in A as well, not S. I was thinking about S because the allies that you get from this thing, the crabs and stuff, like it's great. The crustacean conundrum is fun, but the thing about this is it's gonna eat like all of your yellows. Now, if you have like Neurals, and who cares? But if you have like, you've got this, you've got Molten Perforator, you've got Charge Perforator, you've got Empathy Cores, you got Shatterspring, you got something like really good, you probably don't want to lose it then, if you're having like a great time with it. So yeah, removing yellows does feel awful. Now, this thing. This is the perfected aspect, I'm pretty sure. And having gotten it before and tried it, it's kind of mid, as most of the aspects are besides Blazing. The reason it's kind of mid is it does a couple of cool things. It converts all your health into shield. It does what Transcendence does. You apply Cripple to enemies, which is easily the best part about it, which is a really good part. But the really negative part is it has like missiles. Like all perfected elites, they shoot out missiles, kind of, is the only way I can explain it. And they're terrible. They don't seek, they don't really do anything. You're almost never really going to hit anything with those missiles in A tier, because Cripple does, the wiki said it does what now? It does minus like 50% armor or something like that, or 20% armor and does plus 50 damage or something like that. Cripple is a good perk. Is like a good effect. Not perk, sorry. A good effect. So I wouldn't want to pass up on it. But, you know, if you're having like a healing run, I probably wouldn't pick that up. Y'all already know, S tier. I'm kidding. It's funny because it's like a joke item, you know. It's the deprecated version of the what do you want to call it? I'm gonna hold it D. I think D is a fair spot for this, because it can still like, I mean, if you have like crab shells, I guess it does something. But, you know, I guess a bottle of chaos or something. I don't know. Tricorn, and it's used form our minute cooldown.